The truth usually slips out when people think no one is listening. And on a night filled with flashing cameras, scripted speeches, and carefully rehearsed smiles, that truth came from one person who least expected to reveal anything at all: Dylan Wang. It happened so fast, so quietly, so naturally that the entire internet missed it until one fan caught the tiny moment, enhanced the audio, and posted a 7-second clip that would go on to rock the fandom for days. But before the clip exploded, before the whispers spread, before fans dissected every frame and every syllable, the night had been perfectly ordinary. Or at least, that's how it appeared on the surface. Dylan had just finished a major segment at the Weibo TV and Internet Video Summit. He'd spoken confidently, smiled at the audience, thanked his team, and bowed with his usual charisma. The crowd loved him. The stage lights adored him. And the cameras lingered on him like he was the main character of the night. But backstage was different. Backstage was quiet. Backstage was unfiltered. Backstage was real. And backstage was where everything slipped. Dylan didn't know a single camera was still rolling in that narrow hallway. He didn't know his mic hadn't been muted yet. He didn't know that what he said in those few seconds would travel far beyond that corridor. He had no idea. And that's the part that made it so raw. Because the moment he stepped off the stage, his smile faded. He exhaled deeply, shoulders dropping as if the adrenaline he carried on stage vanished all at once. A staff member approached, congratulating him, and he nodded with a small, tired grin. Nothing unusual. But then one assistant, fumbling with his mic pack, said something that changed everything. "Shen Yue passed you earlier. Did you see her?" It was casual, harmless, probably meant as light conversation. But Dylan's reaction, caught on a live backstage camera feed, told a very different story. He froze. Not dramatically, not for show, just a subtle stillness, the kind that happens when someone's thoughts suddenly slam to a halt. His eyes flickered downward. His lips parted slightly, like he wanted to say something but wasn't sure he should. The assistant tried again. "You didn't see her?" And that's when Dylan said it. Quietly, unscripted, completely natural. Words he never would have said if he knew they were being recorded. "I did, but she avoided me again." 7 words. 7 quiet words whispered into a mic he thought was off. 7 words that rippled across the internet and shook the fandom to its core. And he didn't stop there. He lowered his head, looked toward the floor, and added under his breath, "I don't know what I did this time." Not angry, not bitter, just hurt. A pure, unguarded kind of hurt that no one expects from a polished celebrity trained to hide every vulnerable emotion. And that vulnerability was the exact thing the camera captured, the thing fans weren't supposed to hear. He sighed, rubbed the back of his neck, and whispered, "Shen Yue, why are you like this?" Not loud, not frustrated, more like an ache that slipped out before he could swallow it. And that was where the clip ended. The broadcast cut. The camera operator walked away. The feed switched to a commercial. Everyone backstage thought nothing of it, until the clip resurfaced. Hours later, a fan who had been watching the behind-the-scenes side feed noticed the audio lingering for a few seconds too long. They replayed it, slowed it down, cleaned the noise, caught the words. The internet detonated. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. 7 seconds, 7 million views, 7 million speculations. People demanded to know, why was Shen Yue avoiding him? Why did Dylan sound so affected? What happened between them? And why did his voice crack slightly when he said her name? The fandom split instantly. Some claimed it was nothing more than awkwardness. Others swore it was emotional history resurfacing. And many insisted this was the clearest proof, yet that something deep, personal, and complicated existed between them. Something the public wasn't meant to see. But while the world spiraled into theories, the real story was unfolding far away from the noise. Because Shen Yue had seen the clip too. Her manager showed it to her early the next morning. She watched it once, then again, and again. Her expression changed with each replay. Her fingers tightened around the phone. Her breathing turned unsteady. Because it wasn't the words that broke her. It was the tone. Soft, uncertain, wounded. A tone she recognized instantly. A tone she had heard before, Years ago, during long filming days, late-night rehearsals, moments where Dylan didn't hide what he felt. A tone that wasn't anger, wasn't annoyance, but something gentler. Something that made her close her eyes in the present moment, whispering to herself. He misunderstood again. The truth was painful. The truth had always been painful. Shen Yue wasn't avoiding Dylan out of anger, or resentment, or pride. She was avoiding him because it had grown too hard not to. Every time their paths crossed, she felt the old dynamic, familiar, effortless, dangerously warm. It existed between them, one neither of them dared to break. But avoidance? Distance? Silence? Those didn't come from spite. They came from fear. A fear Dylan never understood. A fear Shen Yue never explained. And now, the world had heard him admit, I don't know what I did this time. But he hadn't done anything. Not this time. Not any time recently. He just existed in a space she couldn't handle, emotionally, mentally, or professionally. Because every time he looked at her, she felt everything she tried so hard to bury. But Dylan didn't know that. He only knew she kept walking past him without a word, kept avoiding eye contact, kept choosing seats far away from his, kept slipping out of events moments before he appeared. And all he could think was, what did I do wrong? Why does she hate me? He never considered that maybe it wasn't hate at all. Maybe it was heartbreak. Later that afternoon, Dylan's team asked him if he wanted to release a statement to clarify the viral clip. Something calm, professional, emotionless. He shook his head. No, let them say whatever they want. But his tone didn't match the words. His tone sounded tired, resigned, a little bruised. The internet kept pushing theories. Drama channels fanned the flames. Clips were edited, reposted, analyzed frame by frame. But Dylan stayed quiet. Shen Yue stayed quieter. Until something unexpected happened. Late that night, after hours of silence, after scrolling through fans' reactions, after watching the clip another few times, Dylan finally texted her. Just one message. 3 words. Did I hurt you? Shen Yue saw it at 1:14 a.m. She stared at it for too long. Her eyes trembled. Her chest tightened. Because she never wanted him to feel responsible. Never wanted to cause pain. Never wanted him to think he was the problem. She typed, deleted, typed again, deleted again. Her final message was short, gentle, honest. No, I hurt myself. Dylan read it instantly. His breath caught. Not because he understood everything, but because he understood enough. Enough to know she wasn't angry. Enough to know she wasn't cold. Enough to know the silence between them wasn't hatred. It was fear